And welcome to the Game Plan Online. This is our weekly preview for round 12 of Riverland A-grade footy. My name is Nick Dillon and this is my guest or fellow panellist, I should say, Paul Mitchell, and we're here to preview the game. So welcome, Mitch.
Thanks, Dillo.
Well, we might as well get straight into it, mate.
Yep.
The big game between Barmer and One Nation Berry. It's going to be pretty hard to pick, and the loser really could be on the outer as far as finals go. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, Barmer are 5th at the moment.
Yeah, just outside the 4.
Yeah, but a game behind that gaggle of teams.
Yeah.
Is that right? So huge game for Barmer in particular. Berry had that great start to the year, as we know, and haven't performed to that level since.
Mm-hmm.
They squeezed the win out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, against Renmark.
And Barmer, I've seen a bit of Barmer over the past month or so, and their best is really good, and their running players, particularly the young fellas, look great when they've got the footy. They were muscled out of it last week, and their disposal can let them down as well.
Yeah. Very young team though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess to be expected a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, up and down with young fellas, but they sometimes make some decisions which would leave the coach tearing his hair out.
Yeah.
Dingo. So
Poor Dingo doesn't have much left. So
no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Poor bugger. And Berry, a different side than Barmer, like we spoke about off camera. Got some fellas with some real class in that Berry side.
Yeah.
And this game's just almost impossible to pick. Do you like that? Yeah.
Well, I think for Barmer, like I say, it's a must-win game. Their next 2 games are crucial. I think they've got Renmark in the next game as well. So if they can win the next 2, beat Berry and Renmark, then they can really set themselves up for a crack at finals. Because then they've obviously got the tough ones to come. So it's a massive game for them. And a big out for Barmer this week with Matty Layson, the skipper. Had a recurrence of his hamstring injury. They've also got young Matty Watke out with a hammy and Jake Schwertfeger as well. So 3 hamstrings, and talking to the coach Dingo, he's got 9 or 10 blokes that have done hamstrings this year, which is just crazy. So brought in a host of youngsters: Callum Buecker, Brandon Wandenberg and Jack Albright. And for Berry, they've dropped a couple of big men with Chris Bland and Brody Thompson out, and Chris Bland's done a pretty remarkable job considering he was probably 3rd or 4th string ruckman and has rucked for most of the year. But they brought in the Pelican, Greg White and Michael Voigt just to shore up their back lines a bit. So, like I say, toss of the coin for me, Berry just.
Well, look, early in the week I went for Barmer Monash, but now that we know the ins and outs, I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to go for Berry as well.
Yeah. I think having Lace now, and Matty Watke's been doing a really good job apparently too.
Yeah, he's a real live wire down there, and they'll miss him. They'll miss Matt Layson's guidance out in the field. Always picks the right option as well, which I mentioned earlier could be a problem for the Roos. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, we'll move on to the next game, which is one of the local derbies, which is Loxton at home to Loxton North. I'll just quickly go through the outs at this stage for Loxton. Ben Gordon, we understand, has got a knee problem, and Josh Mann, but a couple of very good ins, Ryan Nichols and Reece Mitchell. So that really bolsters Loxton.
Yeah.
Loxton North out, Andrew Hume, very good player, and in we've got Michael Pickles-Arnold back in for Loxton North. So how do you see this one going, Dylan?
Well, I think Gordon's a massive out. He's kicked 40 odd goals this year, but they've also got Raph Little up there as well. So as much as Gordon's going to leave a hole in that forward line, guys like Raph and Brock Schubert and Joel Brown and Bryce Williams is named up there this week as well. So they've got some really good depth at the moment, Loxton. I think, and with Nichols and Mitchell coming back in, I think they should be too strong for Loxton North. North need to win as well. They're in a similar boat to Barmer, where their percentage has taken a big hit in recent weeks. A big loss to Loxton could really put them on the back foot.
Who have North got in that extra game? Barmer have got Waikery. Who have North got?
They might have Renmark.
So
that's not a bonus because Renmark aren't easy beats by any stretch of imagination now, but you'd certainly prefer that than having to play Loxton, that's for sure.
Yeah, so if they can pinch one of these ones that they're maybe not favoured to, that could be almost enough for Loxton North. So.
Yeah, that's it.
But look, I don't think it'll be tomorrow. I think it'll be Loxton too good for the Panthers.
Yep, very good. The last game of the Riverland Games is Waikery versus Renmark, and Waikery just really starting to hit their straps now, and they're like we spoke about in the paper this week, on the verge of 30 years of playing finals if they can get a few more wins in the next few weeks. So they're going along nicely. Although Luke Exton, who was BOG last week for the Magpies, out, big loss for them. But they get Sean Steele back in. That's probably the main two. Ryan Shaw comes back into the side as well. For Renmark, big loss for them with Tim Blight out of action. Sort of one of the few experienced heads they've got up in their forward line. So that responsibility might fall to someone like Josh Warnock or someone like that now. Thomas Bannister and Mitchell Jenke out, and but in they got big kicking Ash Lindner back in the side, and Liam and Adam Jackson. I think Adam might be making his debut. So
how old would he be, Adam?
Oh,
he's only a young
fella, yeah. I'd imagine only 18, 19 or something like that. So yeah, good luck to Adam, and good to see the Jackson boys getting a game together.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this one, mate?
Oh, look, saw a bit of Wakery last week, and they're super strong.
Yeah,
playing tough, hard footy.
What do you think of Salim Hassan, the big fella in the middle?
Yeah, he's obviously a class player. He was up forward a bit when I saw it.
Yeah.
Look, they've got class all over the field, and Renmark often pull out a performance against Wakery. They have over the years, haven't they?
Yeah.
But look, Wakery for sure.
Yeah, I think the same. Wakery to win and continue on their run. So we're getting to the independents now. We'll start off with the probably the most certain of all the games with Cobby and Brownswell. Cobby obviously struggling a little bit, but they get young Christy Jager back in from suspension. Not sure if they're out at this stage, but Brownswell got our old mate Brad Perry's back in, a little goal sneak, and one of their club stalwarts, and Callum Ball, so it's great to see him back in.
Yeah.
But James Faggot and Phil O'Connell are out. At this stage they've got Mark McConnell named, but whether he has to work or not, I'm not sure. So, but you'd think Brownswell would be far too strong for Cobb Dog.
This would be a Fremantle Carlton type market, I would think. $1.05 for Brownswell and right your own ticket for Cobby. So good to see Cobby still soldiering on though, and let's hope they can kick some goals. Yeah. That's the main thing.
That's it. If they're competitive, that's what Steve will be looking for. The coach Steve Jager. So and Brownswell, obviously fine tuning towards finals now, trying to get their side right and getting a few blokes back in.
Some of those blokes like Callum Wall, it'll be great to see him playing a successful final series. He's been out there forever.
Yeah, I played Colts against Callum, and he's been there basically his whole life, I think. And he's just a good lad, and it'd be great to see him rewarded with a flag. So.
Alright, I'll do the next one if you like.
No worries.
On to Ramco taking on Lure. Now Ramco have got their 20-year reunion of their flag in '95.
Went over the Paponda Grass Parrots.
Yeah, the Grass Parrots. Green and gold Grass Parrots.
I imagine so.
Yeah. That is a great name, the Grass Parrots.
Yeah.
Almost as good as the Beatles.
Yeah, bring back the
Beatles. Great story in the local press this week about Kim Teal's recollections of the grand final day, and some of the players they've unfortunately lost from that team, but that was a really good read that I enjoyed. Ramco in, we've got Grant Francis in for his 100th game, and Chris Rademski, and out Nathan Hart and Brendan Reedy, and you know much more about those fellas than me, Nick.
Yeah, Hardy will be a big loss for them. He's been very handy this year, and Brenton's he's a pretty he's a bit of a veteran for them, and sort of runs the play a little bit like Robbo Gorman for him, and I think he's going to be out for the next 3 or 4 weeks actually, so bit of a loss for Ramco there.
And for Lyric, we're not sure of the outs, but ins we've got Steve Rader, one of the best players in the competition, and Brendan Garoppolo.
Rader's a big in. Rader, gives him a target up at centre half forward, or he can go to centre half back. He can do both. And the one that's not in there obviously is Tyson Lindsay again. Got another crack with the Crows, which is great to see.
Good on him,
yeah. So this one, she's it's going to be an absolute beauty, I think, down at Ramco too, which makes it even tougher. But I've got a feeling that Lyric they're the team to beat at the moment. I reckon they might get up.
Yep. I'm not tipping against Lyric for the rest of the season, so Lyric for me.
Boom, big call. I like it. And the last game we've got Wonka versus Brook. Now just looking at the Wonka side, doesn't look like there's too many changes from last week to this week. So, and Brook Kingston copped a few injuries last week with Daniel Clark with the knee, John Pintilli, I think he's got a broken foot, and Trav Voigt did his good hamstring. So, a bit unfortunate for the Warriors, who are struggling along and trying to fill the side each week. But in they get the vice captain and Matt Morrell back in the side, which is great, and Matty Nisbet as well. not much to play for either side except for a bit of pride, I guess, and to try and finish fifth on the ladder. Whoever wins will more than likely finish fifth. Yeah. Having watched both teams in the past 2 weeks, Rook were really good in patches last week. I think they've probably got better overall players than Wonka do, but I think if the guys are out without Trav up forward, I think they might struggle to kick a winning score against Wonka, who probably got a little bit more overall depth around the ground. So we left to poor old Corey and Twinners up forward, I think, tomorrow, by the sounds.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're going to go for Wonka?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the Bulldogs, yeah.
Okay, and I'll go for Rook in a really tight game and played in good spirit like they always are.
Is it Captain's Day or has that one already been?
That's already been. That's always a Rook, that game.
Very good. No worries. So that's it for this week's round of matches. Make sure you grab your copy of the game plan today at the footy and enjoy it. Cheers.